Hello and welcome back to the Players Club podcast. This is season 2, episode 23. Shout out LeBron.
Shout out Mike,
this is our
bro.
LeBron episode.
Shout out Mike.
We are
the
back
OG 23.
Yet another week. We're getting closer and closer to the end of the school year. It's been a huge weekend for sports, so we'll get right into it. Obviously, March Madness has come to a close. Did you get to watch the game last night?
I watched the entire game.
Really?
All 40 minutes of it. The first time I've sat through a Natty game in a year. I watched the whole Final Four, the whole Elite Eight for Miami to go to the Final Four last year. So I watched that whole game, and then I watched the entire game. I turned it on like 30 seconds before they threw the tip off. Like, that's when I turned it on,
Nice.
and I was like, oh, my God, I timed this perfectly. And then I watched the entire game.
What are your thoughts on it? I only caught the second half because I was at work
I was
late
talking
last
to Cole. I was talking to Cole. I'm trying to get this out of my face.
Yeah.
I was talking to Cole, and I said that, or not to Cole, to Austin. It was Austin. Shout out Austin.
Shout out Austin.
My stats guy at baseball. I said, I literally got vibes of 2016 Golden State. And the reason I said that with UConn is because, bro, them brothers do not stop moving. They do not stop moving. They are probably one of the most active teams I've watched in recent history, apart from that prime GSW team.
Yeah.
Where the players don't stop moving. They had Purdue. Like, bro, they needed a map. Like, they needed Google Maps. They needed Apple Maps. They needed something. Waze. Whatever GPS service you use
Shout out
there,
Waze.
right? Whichever GPS service you use, that's what they needed. Strava even, bro. I don't
MapQuest. Sorry, anyways.
throw it out, yeah. Like, they needed it. It was bad. But
no, I saw it, like I said, I only caught the second half, and that's when it seemed like UConn just pulled away and just started dominating them, all the way through.
It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was a 4-point game at half. 34-30 at half.
And then it just got away from them. But they broke down one of the offensive sets that they were using, and it was just a constant, double screen, motion, and they just kept passing it back and forth. And they passed it 5 times before they even got a shot.
You remember the
crazy.
Twin Towers that the Warriors used to use with Mark Jackson?
Yeah.
Right? It's literally that's basically what they were doing, but instead of 2 people locking in, that was the actual name of the play, by the way. That wasn't a reference to anything. That's what it was actually called. Right?
I was gonna say, no, I wasn't born in 2001.
Neither was I. Neither was I.
Yeah.
Instead of overlocking, it's just a double screen, and then they get caught behind, and then that's the issue. That's why you probably heard Cole say it a couple episodes ago, right? Where Zach Edey plays the most boring form of basketball, but he can't stretch the floor. So once you got 2 guards trailing, right, behind their guards, you have 2 guards trailing. Now their 4 can stretch the floor. Their 5 can't really stretch. He did shoot a couple threes. I can't remember his name. I'm just not a UConn fan. I'm not a UConn fan.
Yeah.
Right? But I know Hurley. That's a household name now.
Dan Hurley.
Right? Absolute baller. Whole family of Hurleys is ballers. Dad over there at Duke. Grandpa.
I didn't know that
as well.
his family was
Me neither. Son plays on UConn. Took the team turnover. Shout out him. Actual dribbled it out with for 6 seconds left. You have them trailing. Zach Edey can't guard outside the lines, outside the paint lines. He can't guard.
Yeah. So
it's if your 5 can shoot an elbow jumper, he can't guard that.
Yeah.
So it's that was it. That's pretty much what they did.
And it felt this is no disrespect to Edey, but when they get it to him in the post and it's not there and he just kicks it back out, it's he's just sitting there.
Yeah, he can't move. He can't do anything. He just can't. That's his problem. He can't space the floor in today's basketball, which is what you need. You need to be able to space the floor.
Their entire play was just Edey in the post, and if he'll just turn and shoot. And if it
100%.
wasn't he scored 37, but the thing is what they were saying, what they kept into
only 7 free throws.
Yeah.
They didn't.
One man can't beat you.
No, they can't.
Rarely can one man ever. They focus on him. He can score all the points, but if no one else is doing anything, it's not going to help them win.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, with UConn, everybody was eating.
Let me actually see the box score.
Everybody was getting theirs, and that's exactly how you win. It's a team game, like you said. All 5 of UConn was scoring, defending, interrupting. I don't remember the Big's name on UConn, but he did a very good job. Great job in the second half of disrupting Edey, making him feel uncomfortable, just being super physical with him, and he had a lot of stops against him, so that was super impressive. And shout out either the forward or the guard. He's from Davidsonville, Maryland, which is 15 minutes from where I grew up. I actually played basketball there. So, shout out to him.
That's cool. Alex Caravan.
Yeah, Caravan. Shout out to him.
Southborough, Maryland. Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Sophomore, too.
That was dope. I heard them.
Probably went to school.
I probably hooped in the same areas as him though. Cause
probably.
I heard them say that and I was like, yo, like that's like mad close to me, bro. So that was cool. Good for him because I don't think he had any offers.
That's the wrong one. Cam Spencer.
Yeah, Cam Spencer. He had no offers at a high school, and then
he's a senior actually, so he probably did hoop with him.
Yeah, no offers out of high school, and then he's balling in D1. So good for him.
I misread it. Caravans from Massachusetts. I misread that. Oh. Yes. Purdue with Zach Edey and Braden Smith. They had 49 of their 60 points.
Jeez, 49 of the 60.
Yeah, they had Lance Jones, a senior, had 5. Trey Kaufman-Wren, a sophomore, had 4. And then one of their bench players, Camden Hyde, a freshman, had 2 points. Yeah. UConn had 4 starters in double digits.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Tristan Nguyen, obviously their best player, had 20. Stephon Castle, freshman, with 15.
Yeah, Stephon Castle is a baller, bro.
Donovan Klingen, their center, the 7'2" guy, 11. And then Camden Spencer had 11 as well.
Yeah. But
they basically beat you. Yeah, but, they also, like, Zach Edey had 1 less free throw than the UConn team did as a whole. They had 11. Zach had 10. And I actually saw this. I don't know if you know this. Zach Edey leads the NCAA in free throw attempts per game. 11.2. There's only one other player, which is the freshman from Tulsa. Mm-hmm. Oh, I forgot his name, man. He's a baller. He's a guard. He had 10 a game. No one else had double digits. They were the only 2. Yeah, but we think that that's not a lot because we'll see Shea, who he gets called a free throw merchant or whatever. Sometimes there's games where Braun has a lot or Tatum has a lot just because it depends who's guarding and stuff like that. Jimmy's had games where he's had 15. I'm not gonna say here and he doesn't because Jimmy sometimes drives a lot and just gets absolutely smacked. LeBron gets smacked. Jason Tatum gets smacked. They all get smacked. So they go to the free throw line, but it's they're going up against people that are taller than them.
Yeah.
How does Zach Edey, who is the tallest on the court, have that many free throw attempts?
Yeah.
And it's I'm not saying he's a bad player because he's not a bad player. That's why, I'm not going to sit here and say he's absolute buns. I can beat him. I can't beat. Obviously, he's good for a reason. And this is a kid who didn't even make varsity his junior year of high school. Right? Basically was he didn't even want to play basketball. He wanted to play baseball.
He's that tall and wanted to play baseball?
His favorite sport was, I think it was soccer.
Oh, so he's just an athlete.
Or football, one of the two. Yeah. He, basketball was his third option.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because he's from Canada. So he wasn't really – oh, no, hockey. Hockey was his number 1 sport because he's from Canada.
He's too tall to play hockey.
And he was too tall to play baseball. That's why he chose basketball.
Yeah.
But it's you're not from that's – hockey is the main sport in Canada.
Would his strike zone be, way bigger than everyone else's because he's 100%.
Way taller? Aaron Judge has a bigger strike zone than a lot of people.
Because, he's a big dude. How tall is Aaron Judge? 6'4", 6'5"? 6'7"? Mm-hmm. Jeez, he's tall.
O'Neal Cruz is 6'8". L.A. De La Cruz is 6'7". I'll get into L.A.
Yeah, we'll get there in a minute. But, I hear what you're saying. He made a good choice. If you're that tall, get on the court. He can develop his game. I hate seeing tall people that don't play basketball. I was like, what are you doing? It's so free. As someone that's shorter and plays basketball,
I'll be saying that too.
One of my friends is 6'7", and he played hockey and volleyball, which is fine.
Volleyball
makes sense because you're super tall.
Yeah, get into it.
But you can play both. Get on the basketball court and play volleyball. You know what I mean? Volleyball, he has hops because he jumps for volleyball. Utilize that in that. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just as someone who wasn't gifted with that height and still played the sport. When you are gifted with that height, play the sport. You know?
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, no. Shout out UConn, back to back, first time since Florida did it.
Yeah.
And then only third team ever to go back to back.
Only third?
Yeah, they were the third team. Florida was the second in 06-07, and then it was the Joakim Noah, Al Horford days. Who else did they have on that team? Oh my God, why am I blanking on him? He went pro. They had Joakim Noah. They had Al Horford. They had. Oh my God, who was on that 06 roster? Jacob, do you know?
No, I do not.
2000. I know. I looked it up yesterday. Corey Brewer. Oh, how did I forget Corey Brewer? They also had Brandon Powell. Shout out Brandon Powell. And then UCLA did it 7 straight years.
7 straight?
Yeah, from 67 to 73.
I was about to say it had to have been a long
They won every single year for 7 straight years. That's pretty embarrassing. But
it's kind of boring.
Before
too,
we move on to women's
Yeah.
college, I do want to say something. Did you hear obviously the biggest news? Did you see about that?
I feel like I may not have
You
seen the
had
same thing
to.
that you're
You
seeing.
had to.
Well, no, I don't know.
Well, John Calipari.
Oh yeah, I
Come
did
on,
see
that
that.
was
I
like
did see
breaking
that.
news, like that he's leaving Kentucky.
Yeah.
That's crazy, huh?
How long has he been at Kentucky?
Since 2009.
Mm. Yeah, and like
Or
all the
10.
the players that he has coached up that have become like stars is crazy.
I think that's why he left.
You think that's why he left?
Yeah.
He signed with.
Yeah, 09 to 24.
Who did he sign with again?
Arkansas.
Arkansas. I almost said Arizona, but Arkansas.
Same conference.
Mm-hmm.
Southeastern Conference, as we know, SEC. But I think he heard all the heat he was getting, and he kind of dipped. You heard about that, right?
No, I didn't.
The whole thing. A lot of people were on him because they were first round exits.
Yeah.
And they're saying that he doesn't coach to win; he coaches to train you for the NBA. And I think that now he just wants to
I mean, that's not necessarily like.
It's not a bad thing, but Duke has had chances, shown glimpses of winning in the tournament.
Yeah.
Late, like obviously they made it to the Elite Eight this year.
And having guys go pro at this.
And then they have, obviously they were, what was it, Sweet 16 when they lost to the 18 year when they had the Big Four with Zion, RJ, Cam.
Was it really
and
Sweet
Trey?
16?
I think so.
Oh.
Sweet 16 or Elite Eight, one of the two. They made it they're not first round exits.
Yeah.
And it's like Kentucky is just you go to school in the summer, school in the fall, you play over the winter, and then you just leave. As soon as your last game, you're already out. You're training for the NBA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it feels like that's what it is. But I mean, now he's not gonna have that much pressure. Arkansas's, no offense, Billy. Shout out Billy Adams. Or go Billy Adams, big Arkansas guy.
Yeah. Shout out Billy.
But I mean, he just doesn't have the pressure anymore. Just doesn't have the pressure no more. I thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, no, that was just 5 years is also a long time, but hopefully he builds something with Arkansas as well.
Yeah, that's right. 5 you do.
I wanted to ask you about. You see the 2024 like all tournament team?
No.
And how 4 or 5 of them were UConn players. And then
they're 4 starters that had double digits?
Yeah, I think their fifth. What was it? Edie at the 5?
Probably.
I think it was.
I mean, they're just bro. It's just.
But my thing was, I think that they're the best team. They won. But that cuts away from a lot of other guys that balled out during the tournament, like Dalton Connect or DJ Burns.
But Dalton Neck didn't really ball out like that.
I think 4 of them.
I think because if you just look at what he did over the season, you expected it. The one who kind of surprised me was obviously I knew he was good. I don't know if you knew Jared McCain. Duke.
Jared McCain. He's a freshman.
We knew he was a dog though,
Mm-hmm.
but dropping 32 in that Sweet 16 or that Elite 8 game where they lost, I didn't expect 32 out of him. Like I knew he could drop 32 against Florida State. Yeah, I said it, Cole. Not a good team, but to drop 32 like how he did, it was kind of impressive, and I think he probably should have gotten it. But
I just feel like there was a couple other guys that could have gotten.
I think they're gonna
it's all like the whole tournament. Like they were great.
I think they're gonna give it to probably the people that end up going the farthest. Anyways.
Fair, but
because I saw that who won? I can't remember who won guard of the year, but Tyler Kolek didn't win it, and I was heavy on Tyler Kolek.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think he's the best guard in the draft coming up. I genuinely do think because he led the NCAA 7.7 assists per game, while averaging like 17 or something like that, 17, 18. I mean senior obviously, but we're gonna see. Yeah. I think now we're seeing a lot more seniors.
Yeah,
we're seeing a lot more, multiple year guys out of college going to the NBA rather than one and done. It's like we're going back to that.
Is that, and I mean, I believe they're changing the whole one and done rule anyways soon.
Yes, I think next year it's out of high school again.
Yeah, but I mean, I think these players are starting to realize because we've seen the volatility of one and done and how you either
you either got it or you don't.
Got it or you don't.
Yeah.
And maybe it is better to take more time and develop in college, like you said, under a coach that might
Jaime Jaquez. I mean, I'm not trying to be a homer either. For
NBA,
the Heat,
and then you have that experience more. Because 1 year in college, college and high school, 2 different levels.
100%.
And then just
college
1 year to not even
level.
You're expected to ball out for 1 year and then immediately go to the next level. That when you look at the percentage of high school to college, super small, and the percentage of college to NBA, even smaller, and you got to go in 2 years those 2 jumps. That's a lot, and only so many people can do that.
No, yeah,
and then you get all the hate and the coverage because if you're not as good in the first season as you're supposed to be,
I think that's why we're seeing so many players now be good, like Luka. who played pro for so many years.
Since he was like 15 or maybe earlier.
You know, Wemby played pro.
Mm-hmm.
You know, LaMelo went pro before he went to the NBA.
Yeah.
And in the second, what they say is that the league that's second to the NBA and the NBL.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're saying that's where he was at. Well, that's not what they're saying. That's what they're saying about the league, and that's where he went. You know, you're seeing some guys got it though.
Some guys do.
You know what I'm saying? Like we see some guys come out of college, and it's like, yeah, they really didn't need to stay that anymore, which is kind of like, I mean, but sometimes it takes a couple years. Jalen Green was one and done. Wasn't really like that his first year, to where now.
And now he's what, year 3?
Now he's year 3, but he's had time to develop. Chet didn't play his rookie year last year, but he had time to. He
could train.
He could see the game from a pro level. He's getting insight from pro players that molded into where they are. He was seeing Shea, telling him, and then, you're seeing players kind of grow. Jalen Williams on their team went 2 years in college, so he kind of stayed an extra year. Jaime Jaquez went all 4 years in college, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, why is this guy so good?" Out of UCLA, and it's like, well, he kind of stayed there for extra years. He molded his game. He's able to control the pace. He's able to do that. And it's like a lot of kids out of high school, they don't, or 1 year after high school. Some kids got it like that.
Yeah.
Look at KG. Look at Braun. Like, some kids got it like that.
Kobe, too.
Kobe, to come straight out of high school, out, and I did forget Kobe went straight out of high school.
Yeah, Kobe was out of high school.
Straight kill. Lou Will went out of high school.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that. Lou Williams went out of high school. But it took Lou Will a little bit. But then Lou Will obviously became, with Manu Ginobili, one of the best 6-man we've seen in our generation.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I think there's more leniency for those top players to develop in college than it is in pro, because, like you said, people start to forget about you. Like, no one really forgot about Jalen Green. You knew he was one of those young guys that could get better, but after about like year 3 or 4, if you're not improving, then it's like, oh, move on to the next. Whereas in college, it's like, duh, he's year 3 or 4. Like, he even has another year of eligibility. Like, this is where he's supposed to shine. You know.
One of the people I was really high on is Josh Christopher. Do you know Josh Christopher?
Mm-mm.
He was known they called him J Gup. I was really big on like high school basketball a couple years ago. That's why I was really big on Hero before he went to the Heat. I swear. And then I was really.
No, I'm just kidding.
I got proof, man. I then told, like, I was a big fan of him. I was like, yo, like, shout out Jay Gup. Like, he's nice. He was a combo guard. He was more of a 2-3 guard, rather than a 1. But he was like, he could jump out the gym, like, could hang with the big dogs. But went to Arizona State out of college because he didn't really have like the blue bloods like that offers.
Yeah.
And then goes, tries to declare. So he drops to like late first round, 24, and he never, flourished in the NBA. And it's like, if he probably stayed 2 or 3 more years, whether he would come out of the draft this year because he was in my grade, or would have came out of the draft last year, he might have been higher, might have been more poised for the NBA, and probably would have had a better career than he's had so far, which has been, kind of stuck in the G League. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of you kind of like to see these kids are doing that now.
And like, while we're on this topic, I believe this happened like since last recording, but Bronny declared for the draft as well. But the thing is, I think I mentioned this to you before, and the transfer portal at the same time. Like, when you think about why he would do those two things at the same time, I believe, one, he's probably seen the game from a pro level since he was like his entire time playing. He's training with like his dad's trainer, like pro trainers and stuff. So, adjusting to college might be a little bit different. Also, I don't think he's going right now. Everyone was like, oh, why is he trying to get drafted? Like, he's clearly like sucks or whatever. Keep in mind, he is coming off of cardiac arrest, so he's still developed. That like probably messed him up. And he's still like recovering from that. 2, I think this is probably just to see where his draft order falls, and if he's not high enough where he wants to be, he can transfer to another school, like ball out, and then get a better draft pick next year, which makes sense. To be honest.
I saw Jeff T talk about it. I don't know if you saw him talk about it.
No, I didn't. Not the whole thing. I didn't.
No, I just saw the clip of him talking about Bronny. He said that Bronny is very, he's pro ready. He's not like a college player. Not everybody's built for college, because college they expect you to like go hoop and drop like 30 balls and stuff like that.
The college game is different from pro, for sure.
But Shams even said it. I don't know if you saw Shams' tweet. I think I saw a clip of Shams talking about it, where he said that he talks to NBA teams and they're like, no, he can defend at an NBA level.
And because of the things,
and it's like I wouldn't be surprised if behind closed doors he's played ones against his dad.
I agree, and the things that people say about him because of his college performances, like, oh, he's trash, he sucks.
Because he
like,
doesn't shoot.
If he doesn't score as much, he had like 6 points. He's not going to be good in pro because he can't score
shooting
in college. But it's like he's probably fulfilling his role on the team like you're supposed to do.
Play, make, and defend.
And if you play, make, and defend in the league, like
there's going to be a spot for you.
Yeah, and the points, that's a huge part.
Miami will be it's the one team that would turn you into a dog.
Yeah, that doesn't necessarily reflect everything, like your impact 100%. On the game at all. Like he can the scoring will come with time. Naturally. Like if he's able to defend right now, I believe like the pro trainers know more than we do. So everyone that's on the internet that's saying, oh, this is only because he's Bron's son, like they're clowning, they're really gassing him up, it means nothing. It doesn't surprise me if he's been training with pros his whole childhood, and he would be ready for a pro level. Like you said, like college is a different game. It's probably more of an adjustment, So hopefully it goes well. I think he'll end up being fine. Again, I think so, probably not going to go to the NBA this year. But if he does, I mean, wouldn't be surprised if he develops into something better over the next couple of years. Like no one's expecting him to be his dad. That's
exactly. I did want to talk about the women's tournament. Though.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not gonna lie, didn't watch the championship.
I didn't get to because it was 3 p.m. on a Sunday. And
exactly.
I think I had like ultimate frisbee or something. That's kind of why. And I had a formal to go to, so it was like I literally didn't have a chance to watch the game.
I could have turned it on, but I was so focused on this freaking project.
Yeah.
And then I had to lead a discussion in the class, so I had to find the articles and then write a summary about it. So I was so swamped with this schoolwork that I didn't watch it. But they brought in like it's the most viewed game.
Yeah.
It was like what, 15 mil?
I think it was like 14.2.
Something like that, which is crazy to think about. And it's like the 2020 class is like recruiting class at a high school has revolutionized women's basketball for good.
And I think it was, I don't know if it was Orlovsky or Redick who said that. I think it was JJ Redick that said it, but he said the women's game right now, for as far as college goes,
it's way more entertaining than the men's.
Well, I said they has more icons than the men's now. Because and it goes back to the point of anyone who's saying, oh, it's so dumb, only casuals can't name a bunch of like college like guys right now as opposed to like women's college players. But that's the point, is they're so in the spotlight that even someone who doesn't even watch it that much can name of like 4 to 5 women's college hoopers right now as opposed to the men's, which this specific year, a lot of people have said that draft class is it's weaker or it's not as prominent. There's not as prominent as before. Like, you don't have the Zion Williamsons and the RJ Barrett. Like, you don't have the icons this year, so it's not hard to imagine you are seeing people like who Paige is, who Cardoso is, who Caitlin Clark is, obviously.
You've known Paige for a while, too.
Yeah, who Angel Reese, you know what I mean? Like, all these people because they've been in the spotlight and they're balling. So, like, I mean, I'm one of those people. I can name a lot more women's players right now than I can men's.
I probably still can't, but
I
could name you a lot more women than before.
I pay attention to them equally, like straight up. Like this is the most I've watched any women. Even before this, like the women are just like they haven't been as much in the media until like last year. But it's a testament to how the game has really grown and what they've done to bring it to the spotlight. And I think it'll continue this way for sure. I mean, Dawn Staley too. Like what she's done with South Carolina,
bro. That woman is a blessing from God himself, man. Yeah. I don't think anything about her can be better. Like genuinely, she is just like I feel like I'm glazing right now, but she's just like a fantastic person. Just from like you know what it is, that like a lot of teams won't do that to win the championship. In a situation where there's a lot of trash talking about like, oh, please get, like, a lot of people are rooting for you, but a lot of people are rooting against you, and you still take the time to acknowledge what a player on the other team has done to the sport. It's like not everybody, like they'll do it. Like I would see people doing it just to get their oh, I'm a nice person, but I feel like she would have done that if they won or lost. Like because that's just her. Like I don't think there's like, I think that's why South Carolina's becoming a powerhouse. Bless you.
Thank you.
Is because she's a player's coach. Like people want to play for her.
Yeah.
The girls want to go to that school if they're good to go play for her, and I think that's what women's basketball needs.
That's why LSU is falling apart right now.
Exactly.
Because it's the opposite end. But yeah, I completely agree. She has, just from the interviews where she talks about her players, she's not afraid to call them out on their mistakes. She's always trying to help them get better. I think to the point where she's done a great job of keeping the team like high level and competitive. Because when you win that much, it's super easy to get complacent about. Oh, we should come out and do whatever and winning. But not that easy to win. 38 games in a row. There has to be a certain point where like we are going to go even harder. We're gonna lock in. We're gonna keep this up. I think they haven't lost a game since the versus Iowa in the tournament last year. Yeah. Only 3 games. Losing 3 games in the last over 3 seasons, I believe. Like that's. Shout out to her.
They won. They lost.
And her fits are crazy
1
too.
and 0.
I saw something about her like designer fits or whatever.
Yeah.
They're pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, she got drip for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like she keeps them level-headed. I know you were probably talking about like you probably when referred to that you were talking about the press conference.
Yeah.
She was like, you gave up a 22-point lead.
Yeah, like stuff like that. Even if you're winning, it's necessary.
And she says it like she would say that just because she said it at the press conference doesn't mean anything. She says it behind closed doors.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that, and then to give the the hype she gave to the or not the hype the credit she gave to what she calls the highlighters.
Yeah.
You seen that the guys that come in like, and it's always been
that's another cool thing that they do too.
If you play, a lot of teams do that. Though I know that I do know that a lot of women's teams do that. When you play against people that are physically just more like advancing you, which I'm not trying to say anything. It's just
it's true.
I'm not trying to start anything. It's just what has been said. It advances you.
Yeah.
It makes you become better, and I think that's why Caitlin Clark is so good because I don't know if you read it, but she.
Yeah, I saw.
Grew up playing against boys because there was no girls league around her, and her dad was like, "All right, screw it, we'll just put you with the boys or whatever." And she ended up pulling up from 40 feet because she's been playing against people that can do that. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying here like everyone's saying, "Oh, she can go to the NBA." No, she cannot.
Yeah,
she cannot go to the NBA.
We're not saying that at all.
She cannot go to the NBA.
Yeah.
But will she be?
Well, the Pistons might use her. No, I'm just kidding.
Brother, he need another shooter. Get over there.
The Wizards even. Yeah.
We're not supposed to be that team. It's just at this point, like, don't be that team. I think the Spurs could use her. She could give the ball to Wemby.
She would get to her assists. She would get a couple assists to Wemby. I'm not going to lie.
Everybody should. But, I mean, I think that they've transcended women's basketball, and I think that they've brought it to life. And I think a lot of people now are going to watch the WNBA.
I agree.
Because they're going to want to watch
it when all these girls go to the WNBA. Also, you seen the turnaround for that? It's super quick. Like, the WNBA, the season just ended. The draft happens either later this month or in May.
They start in like August.
And then the season starts like earlier than that. I think it's June.
I thought preseason was July.
Preseason? No, I believe it's earlier.
It might be.
Because it's like a month or two where they just like are right back to playing. So it's interesting to see like where they get drafted. I think it was not Kelsey Plum. Who was it? Diana Taurasi that said that in order to. I disagree with this.
Oh my God! There's games in May 3rd.
Yeah. Like it's super quick.
Jesus.
But. I think it was Diana Taurasi saying that like reality is coming for them, not in really a disrespectful way, but like pro is different than college, and WNBA.
Yeah, no, she was basically saying that Caitlin can't do what she's gonna do. Like she's not gonna be good enough. That's basically what she was saying. And everyone was like, "You're just hating."
Yeah, it does sound like hate. Like
whatever.
The game is advancing. She'll probably need time to develop, but I think she'll be fine. Yeah. Like, if she has to shoot closer, she can shoot closer and whatever. Like, people probably said Steph couldn't do what he did.
Thank God, he's actually not hurt.
But
sorry,
no,
he's actually not hurt.
Yeah, that's all I had to say about like basketball. It's been fun. We'll see what happens next year. Hopefully people still pay attention to like women's next year. Like I'm sure there's a couple other stars that will come to light. But
we're trying to move quick because
it's gonna be a shorter episode today because we've
got stuff to do. So that's why we're trying to move quick through it. I do know you wanted to talk about this, and I got to do my little thing at the end. So I'm not even gonna talk about the team that I'm wearing on my head because they're pissing me off. You mentioned Ellie De La Cruz before. I did because
I saw that today.
What specifically did you want to talk
about? Like his inside the park homer, and also like how his performance is shaping up to last year. Because I know last year he was like
he started good and then just dropped. He ended up not doing good, but he's actually
like one of the fastest guys.
Yeah, which is crazy because he's 6'5". But I don't know if you saw his inside the park home run. He hit it righty, and he had hit a home run earlier in the game lefty. Yeah,
it wasn't like 450.
Yeah, so he's a switch hitter. And he's the first person they saw that hit a home run from both sides of the plate, one being an inside the Parker, one being an outside the an absolute bomb. He was the first person to score 4 runs, I think it was, or like it was either 4 runs or 4 stolen bases, and then one something else. Hold on, I'll pull it up. But he's a absolute just specimen.
Jeez.
But there's another one, Onyo Cruz, 6'7", from the Pirates, which was the Ellie De La Cruz before Ellie De La Cruz.
Yeah.
Because he's the same way. Super quick. Oh, here we go. De La Cruz night for the Reds. Home run from both sides of the plate, over the fence home run and inside the park home run. 4+ runs scored, stolen base. He's the first player in MLB history to do all that in the same game.
He's Dominican, right? Ellie De La
No,
Cruz.
he no black. He Dominican.
No, because when I look at him and then I heard him talk, because he did his first like post game interview in English.
Yeah,
shout out to him. That's really brave. And like shout out to the interviewer for like speaking super clear and concise.
Yeah. A lot of people were giving him credit.
Yeah, I noticed that and I was like, that's really good on him.
Yeah.
He does not look like he talks. It's so weird to me.
His voice is super.
Like, he looks like, and the way that like you look at him and the hair too. I thought he would just sound like,
Yeah. So
and then he has the accent of like. You know what I mean? It's crazy how that works. It's crazy how that works.
He did a press conference earlier this year.
Yeah. In
pure English, and he said that it's very important for his fans to understand him and for him to understand his fans, because last year he had the translator, right? He had the translator with him, because he's not the only one on that team that doesn't only speak or. What am I trying to say? He's not the only one on the team that only speaks Spanish, doesn't speak English. Okay, there we go. That's what I was trying to say. So, sometimes when it's like the same language, they'll have like one translator.
Yeah.
Like, because it's just like, okay, at the end of the day, Spanish is Spanish, like just because you use different dialects, the words are the same. You know what I'm saying? Like his certain things he'll say are different to certain things I would say, because as a Cuban, but end of the day, like, we're talking the same sport, so it's gonna be fine. So he did it like that, and I mean, a lot of teams have like a program. I know the Cubs do. I don't want to say a lot of teams. The Cubs do. They have a program where they teach their because in baseball you can get signed as an international free agent.
Yeah.
If you're not from America at like 15, 16, and you're basically a professional, but you're playing in the Dominican League.
Yeah.
Right. So you're training over there, and it's all Spanish, all that. So they give these kids, they'll start going up, through rookie ball, and then single A, they'll go up a lot slower, but they're playing at rookie ball at like 17. Well, a lot of kids are like either 18 out of high school or 21 when they came to get drafted out of college. So they're moving up younger, and they have these kids that don't speak English. So the Cubs have a program that teaches them English. And one game in their Lake Myrtle team, which is a single A team, they actually had the kids walk out because they graduated through the program, which was like they graduated high school, but also graduated speaking English, which I thought was, like it was fantastic. Like the kids, learned enough to speak English. So good for them. It's like I thought that was really cool. But you see a lot of players now, they can speak English, but they're just not confident enough. Yeah. So like it's with him. He could have spoke English last year, but he's not confident enough. Even Shohei can speak English. He's just not confident enough.
Well, yeah, that's big.
When he has to talk a lot.
When you think about you're learning a new language and you try to have a conversation in that's a huge thing. So him actively trying to do that.
He's been trying, and then even Acuna sometimes he does mid-game interviews, no translator. But sometimes, the thing I've seen with Acuna is Acuna will have his translator. He'll speak to him, he'll translate it, but then he'll answer in English. He just can't comprehend it as quickly. Yeah. So once you tell him in Spanish, he can translate it, and he just says it in English. And I've seen that, and I was like, you know what? It's a good that way. He gets in his language, but he's still giving it to you how he would say it, and you can hear it from him. Yeah. So he's still he'll just have the translator, but he'll answer the question in English. And I thought that's what Ellie was gonna start doing, but he's been doing it all by himself. And I think that's all props to him.
Yeah. No, you look at him,
and then I mean he's obviously killing it on the diamond.
He was African, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I forget baseball is like that.
The De La Cruz didn't give it away.
Well, obviously, I'm just saying you look at players like him in the MLB, and then they sound like the most Hispanic dudes you've ever met in your life, and it's crazy to me. But cool, shout out to them.
But that's what I think is cool. I mean, that's what I love about baseball is how versatile it is. You have Acuna, the best player on the Braves, is a Dominican Venezuelan. They have Ozuna from the Braves, who's Dominican, and then their center field. Well, he's the DH, but they have Acuna's their right fielder. He's Venezuelan. They have is Arcia Venezuelan? Their shortstop I think is Venezuelan or Dominican. I think he's Venezuelan. Their center and left fielder, they have a Michael Harris. He's from Atlanta. Their center fielder's from Atlanta, right? Yeah. Drafted out of high school to his hometown team. A left fielder, I think Kalenic was born in Atlanta too. They just traded for him. Matt Olson is from Atlanta. He got traded over there. But and then their second baseman Ozzy Albies is from he's from Curacao.
What do you think percentage of like American to non in baseball?
Americans dominate baseball. As long as people don't they still dominate baseball. But I think Dominican Republic has the most people pro.
Yeah.
Second, I think it was Puerto Rico. Third was actually I saw it. They had posted it. I'd seen it somewhere, and it was obviously different. I won't say ethnicities, countries represented, or just in MLB.
Do you think De La Cruz is gonna keep it up longer this year, or?
Oh, here we go. So obviously 70% is of players in the pro are from America.
Yeah.
1,057. They have 171 Dominicans, which is 11%. They have 106 Venezuelans, which is 7%. 33 Cubans, shout out. 2%, 28 Puerto Ricans, 24 Mexicans, 15 Canadians, 13 Colombians, 9 Panamanians, 7 Japanese, 6 South Koreans, 5 Curacao, 3 from Australia and Germany, and then 2 from multiple, one from multiple else. I don't know. But Ozzy Albies, speaks with Acuna because he can speak Spanish, but he's from Curacao, so he can do everything. He speaks English fluently.
Yeah.
So he can talk to his whole infield, perfectly fine, but then he can talk to his right fielder in Spanish, and then he could talk to someone else from Curacao in his own language.
Yeah.
In their own language. And it's it's kind of crazy to think about, and then it's but you got players like Juan Soto also who, are younger, but also learned both languages together. So you listen to Juan Soto, and he can speak, normal English, and you're just like, oh, he was born here, and it's like, no, he was raised in Dominican Republic. Tatis was born in, I think he might have been born in America. No, his dad played pro. I don't know if you know that, Tatis Jr. So his mom went back to Dominican Republic to give birth, and he came back over here.
Nice.
And then when he was 4, he moved back full time to DR. But he can speak both. You hear Tatis, you don't think that he can't speak both. You're just like, oh, he speaks English, and it's like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, you're born here? No, he was born in Dominican Republic. But then it's people like Vlad Jr., Guerrero Jr. can't really speak English like that.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to think about the fact. Well, people don't know he was born in Canada. People don't know that he was born in Canada because his dad played for Montreal at the time he was born.
English?
No, because he grew up in DR.
Oh.
He was just born in Montreal, but he spent all his time in Dominican Republic. So he's a Canadian.
Yeah.
Through, birth, which people don't know that. A lot of people just know he's Dominican, but he is technically Canadian and Dominican.
Crazy. I thought you would have said that he spoke French or something.
No, he doesn't. He just speaks Spanish and English. He can speak some English, but, it's honestly, it's a testament to them and, learning that and still, they all learn it. And it's, honestly, I think it's kind of cool that they're, Ellie trying to do that. I think it's fantastic for him and for, all the Cincinnati fans out there too.
Yeah, shout out to him. Cincinnati, are they good this year or what's?
I mean, anybody's better than the Marlins, so I would say yes. They're all right. They're not going to be fantastic. They're not going to be great, but they're going to be normal as always. But they got some young talent, some good young talent. Yeah. So they'll be good. I mean, he's just fantastic. He's just great at baseball. There's just nothing about it. It's just with him, it's just God given.
Yeah, I feel that. Are they like OKC in the sense of the young talent? Like they'll be good in a couple of years, or
no? The young talent, I would say that would be good in a couple years. Probably.
Besides the Orioles, I know they got.
Yeah, Orioles are the OKC.
Okay.
But another team that's got good young talent is Washington.
Really?
Lot great talent. They have 3 outfielders in the minor leagues right now that can, once they come up, they're set for life. They will have their outfield set. They have shout out Yo-Yo Morales, went to a rival high school, not really a rival high school, but a high school back in my city, went to UM, one of the greatest UM players all time in his 3 years there, cemented in the history books. He's in there. They drafted him. He's the third baseman. They have Brady House who can play shortstop. They have a lot of kids that are really good down there. So Washington's going to be the other one that's going to be good.
Finally, shout out to them. Really quickly, get into this Masters week, and you want to get on your little golf spiel before we get out of here.
Best week of the year. That's what I titled it last year. I'm not going to title it this year.
I understand. Or you can just say part 2. No, I'm just kidding. But, yeah,
give me a little
rundown. Who's gonna win?
Well, I mean, I don't know who's gonna win, but it's gonna feel weird. All the live players are there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's funny. They get a lot of smack talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
But last year, the winner from last year is now a live player. John Rahm, he left. He went to live, so they asked him if he's either gonna be viewed as a live golfer or a master champion. He said both. He was like, I mean, I won it. They can't deny that, but he's like, I am also a live golfer.
I thought the PGA merged with live, or did they not have? Yeah.
They did. Well, the PIF merged, but they haven't officially gone through it yet. Okay. But eventually it will.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if a live player wins it again, like this year, it'll be fantastic. Like people will just people will not be able to deny that they have talent.
Yeah.
Because they have Brooks Koepka, they still took him to the Ryder Cup, which he's a live golf player, but he just played because he did so good. He came second. He was second in the Masters, ended like third, or ended second, whatever it was. Ended like top 5, I think, or like top 10 in almost every major last year.
Yeah.
That they literally could not deny him a spot. Everybody was like, you don't take him, you're just being greedy.
Yeah.
Because he's just playing like the best golfer in the world right now. Mm-hmm. So they took him. I think he could win it. He came in second last year. He's just, bro, his mentality is what helps him. Because Brooks Koepka goes out there and he's like, I'm better than you. I'm better than you. Like, you know that meme I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't remember who did it, but he's like, he basically goes out there and he's just like, I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I know I'm better than you. I'm better. Like, that's Brooks Koepka. He'll just talk like smack to you and just that straight face look at you. Like, I feel like whenever I look at Brooks Koepka, he's the guy that talks smack behind your back but will say it right in your face. Like, he doesn't care.
Honestly, respect.
So he can, like, he's just going to come out with that dog mentality and just win.
Yeah.
But I think Rahm can repeat. But you have to bet. I would tell you somebody to bet on, shout out Cole. He said
Cole's betting corner.
Cole's betting corner. He is betting on Scotty Scheffler. I don't think you cannot bet on Scotty Scheffler. He's like the best golfer in the world right now. Literally.
I do know that name actually. I've heard of
literally just cannot lose. Like, he's just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got to bet on Tiger. You cannot not bet on Tiger, you know?
Oh, yeah, he is.
Yeah. So, everybody, if you won the tournament any year before, you get in. You get automatic invitation.
Yeah.
Because you're a past champion.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to go to the champions dinner.
Even if you're like 80?
Yeah. Well, they deny it. They don't go in, but they get to go to the champions dinner.
So old,
but every champion gets an invite. Yeah, like Gary Player plays every year. But Gary Player's like 74 right now.
Yeah.
But, there's going to be a time where we're not going to see Tiger and Phil Mickelson anymore because they're probably the two oldest active golfers that won the Masters. Tiger 5, Phil 3 times, so they're cemented in Masters history. Mm. But, you have like Liv has like 8 past champions now that won the Masters, which is like kind of crazy, like obviously, but it's like these guys were at the top of the game at one point. Yeah, they might not be there no more, but as much as people hate on Phil Mickelson, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Literally, he's been in the Hall of Fame for years before he went to Live. Like, you cannot – what are they going to do, scratch his name off the wall?
I mean, it's not like Liv picked up these, like, bombs that came out of nowhere. Like, these are top guys that just literally switched.
They offered you more money to do the same job for less days.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't take that job?
Exactly.
That's what me and my dad argue. Like, well, I don't argue with my dad. We argue with other people. We're both in agreement. Mm-hmm. It's like, if you get offered – for the same job you're doing, you get offered way more money to work like way less days. Are you gonna turn it down? Yeah, because of this. All right, you're stupid. So that's all it is.
There's history. There's loyalty.
Yeah, I think Scotty Scheffler has a chance because he's the #1 golfer. Yeah. I would not be surprised. Patrick Cantlay did really good. A couple last year. I don't like him because he's so slow, but he's just like, I don't know. He's one of those guys that has a punchable face. No offense, but But I mean, I'm a big Hovland guy. I love Victor Hovland, and he won the amateur a couple years ago. He was the lowest scoring amateur there. I mean, I think he could win it because he's just like he's really consistently good. I mean, I gotta go Rory McIlroy. He's my favorite golfer, and I want him to. So there's a thing called Grand Slams. I don't know if you know that in golf.
Yeah,
it's when you win all 4 major champions.
Isn't the same thing in tennis? Oh no, the tennis Grand Slam is a thing. Yeah, no, I think it
is the same, right?
Thing, yeah.
So for Rory, all he's missing is the Masters. He's won the other 3 majors except the Masters. So if he wins it, he finally completes the career Grand Slam.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out completes the
out
story.
Cody
Shout out
Rhodes.
Cody Rhodes, man. If
Huge
you know,
weekend.
you know.
We don't have time to get into it, but WWE was fired this year, so.
WrestleMania, yeah. Speed. Did you see Speed got?
I did,
RKO'd?
and then he tweeted, "It's real,
It's
y'all."
real,
Yeah. Anyways,
The Rock got choke slammed by the greatest of all time. People may argue, but I think
man, bro.
he is the GOAT. Nick, shout out Nick. He saw the hand. Cody Rhodes went under to grab a chair or something.
Yeah.
And they saw the hand. That's how people knew he was under there.
Really?
On TV, yeah, you could see his hand because he hides under the ring.
That makes sense. I was like, how did he get there so fast?
So he hides under the ring. Yeah, if people don't know, Undertaker always hides under the ring, and then once they turn the lights off, they give him enough time to get to stand right behind who he's gonna choke slam, and that's how he does it.
The memes this weekend were good too. The Rock's face when he turned around. So
know, because all you hear is the bell dong, and then you see the lights turn off. You know who it is.
Uh-huh.
It's literal death.
It's so funny.
And then John Cena came out.
Yeah.
Randy Orton came out. They wanted 316. They wanted Stone Cold, but me and Nick think they didn't have the money to pay him. They didn't want to pay him the money.
They got literally everybody else. They probably would have had
Undertaker was in town.
Yeah.
He did his show, and then they were just like, "Can you come on?" They're like, "You want to come on for a little bit?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." They were probably like, "You choke slam Rock." He's like, "Oh yeah, I'll be there."
Absolutely."
Boom, leaves.
Boom.
Just leaves. All right, that's all he needed to do, and that's it. It gives people, worth their money. So, shout out to WWE, man.
But we got to get out of here. Unfortunately, this has been season 2, episode 23 of the Players Club. We will see you guys.
I think. No, you got to read it like this.
Yeah.
Because you're backwards.
Left
there
to right.
There
you go. Anyways.
Well, for us, it's right to left.
Well, I know, but anyways, we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Later.